Title. All right. We're here with the top four of the first tournament of season 11. We have Baker T versus the Jacob. The Jacob, I think, is playing Jeskai Control, and Baker T's on sort of a green-white value creature deck, but the value comes when the creatures die. So you have cards like Brindle Shoat, Blister Pod, Conclave Cavalier, things like that. It's hard to kill creatures. You always need two removal spells. Always bring two spears. Innumerable Mysteries, another just incredible value. Just like makes removal just really terrible. On the flip side, Jacob is playing a deck full of removal, which is in a Jeskai Control. So it's a typical, draw some cards, counter some things, do a couple board wipes. Decree is back, so which is really cool. Decree of Justice, that is. So it's a cool win condition. There's also Pearl Lake Ancient, which is a new card. 6/7 flash, can't be countered. Ret. The Roman Menace fall? Question. No. It's actually 32 creatures and 4 Unal Mysteries. So if you like creatures, Baker's deck is the deck for you. Lockersec is countered for good reason. So I think this is actually a favorable matchup for Baker, I would say. The Jeskai deck here, the thing about Jeskai is that it's not really good at exiling creatures, which is kind of like a colored attribute for black. So like things like Flaying Tendrils and whatnot. So the Jacob does have like cheap removal and like Radiant Flames and other sort of wrath effects, but Baker's deck is really good at like having resilient creatures. I think one of Titan Predator could exile creatures too. Not in the sense of like board wipes, though. White doesn't have like he I'm just saying in his list, he doesn't have exiling creature effects. Not to say that there aren't exiling creature effects. It's just that they're not apparent here. The one card that like probably this Jeskai deck does have is Condemn, which is really nice, but not like the end all be all. I think Baker was saying earlier that one of his like the strengths he wanted in his deck is that he wanted creatures with toughness 3 or greater because Chain Lightning is really good. But I mean, if the Jacob can kind of just weather the storm here, maybe he could like get a gigantic decree off. You're chiming in saying the flow is real. It is very real. Baker's list is literally 24 lands, 32 creatures, and 4 Uval Mysteries. That's his deck. So if you see a lot of lands here, then looking too great. Meanwhile, the Jacob is kind of on the opposite. Has the opposite problem. He doesn't have any a lot of lands. Your opponent still hasn't shown up. That's not good. Trevor. Trevor randomly doesn't show up sometimes. Might be AFK for a second. What was the match at like Kelvin Consideration like broke the game or something like that? Was there like a game earlier that Kelvin Consideration actually broke? Storm count 1. I don't like how they just say the storm count randomly. It means that like your opponent has a storm deck or a card with storm in it. I don't like that. Oh, shows it for me. Well, good to know. I thought it did, but maybe I'm wrong. I guess like for spectators it shows it, but maybe not for like your. That's good to know because I always thought it did show it. Because like every time when I played today, it would always show like Storm One. But I always thought that was like public information for both. Love Doom Traveler. A welcome addition back or into this format. But here's the thing: like the Jacob can't really like kill these creatures. So I guess all I can do is try to dome him out. Yeah, I like Baker's side in this matchup. I think it's really good. I really don't see how he can beat him with the current board state. Like, all these creatures don't mind dying, and if they die, he even gets another creature out of it. Or no, he gets to investigate, and then the clue makes another token. So it's just really good. We'll say it's Pulse of the Fields. Oh man, it's basically like a fog plus 4 life. It's like a one of in the list. All right, we're here for the long run, guys. You're here for the long. It's a one of, yeah. So he's good at not dying, but how is he gonna win the game? That's my concern. It's how is this game gonna be over? Really Rune Stag, by the way. This is one of those matches where two things are gonna be considered now: the clock and like that's it, just the clock. But because I could see this match going to like a weird decking. So the Jacob's back at 19. It's like Baker didn't do a thing at all. He's got to get some more like good creatures. Eric's pretty good. To eat that dissolve though. By the way, I was really close to playing this like blue white anti red deck with like Dalkin Outlander and like Steel the Godhead. I was like so close to just playing it. I hadn't built it either. I just like thought about it last night. And I was just like so like imagine going like turn two Vidalcan Outlander, turn three Steel of the Godhead against a mono red deck. What did they do? What the heck did they do against that? I was so ready. I like this line here, just like hard casting the Korea Justice. It's basically a 2-turn clock. You don't have to attack all three angels, but I guess if you have Pulse of the Fields, it doesn't really matter. There's no way that like he has a spell here to like overrun him. He literally doesn't even have an overrun. Like at least I know that. I have seen the deck list. I don't think he really needs a block. Pretty lethal attack. Unless he's like afraid of something. Which is no fear. Jacob was it's gonna win round one. Alright, so sideboarding. Baker's is a little unfinished. Not sure what he could really bring in here. Maybe naturalizes if you think there's like some sort of like artifacts or enchantments to deal with. But there's really not much. Maybe Stasis Snare for like some random creatures. On the other side, um, looks like the Jessica Control deck can bring in maybe another Radiant Flames, maybe some more removal. Invoke the Divine be really good against like mysteries. So we'll see. Another Pulse of Fields too. That was actually kind of a key card in that matchup. Let him stay alive forever. Our two Apocrypha is really strong, but no green mana yet. Baker. Or really resilient creatures here. Shows a planes in hand. That's not that great. I mean, a lot of lands in play. A lot of lands in the hand. At least one extra. Ocrosites get probably gonna get countered here. I think what I'm missing out of Baker's deck is maybe some sort of like anthem effects. There's a ton of creatures. I mean, like maybe like an always watching one or two would be okay. But there are a lot of token kind of things, so maybe like a Spear Heliod or Glorious Anthem, something like that. That's what I'm kind of missing out of this deck. Genesis, I do like Genesis a lot. Genesis loves being in the graveyard. It brings everything back here. Oh, he condemns the Genesis. It's really strong. I mean, it's probably going to stay in the bomb that library for the rest of the game. All this really just depends on like if the Jacob can weather the storm from like last game. Play something here though. Treasure Cruise, okay. Maybe Total might be good. Maybe it's probably not good enough though. Because you can't really anticipate when they're gonna have a Treasure Cruise. Sentinel Totem's probably not good enough here. So creatures keep on coming. One more mana and he can activate that versus factory. Instead he goes for a Radiant Flames, which might mean he has a second Radiant Flames here. Right. The double, the double, which clears the board. Now the Jacob looks like he's stabilized just a bit. The Prolic Ancient? Oh, nope, just a hard cast Decree for 2. I guess my analysis was wrong on this matchup. I guess like the resilient creatures weren't resilient enough for this. And I don't know. Baker needs to find an answer to these 4/4s. Ooh, yeah. The Jabe can dissolve the Apocryphite coming back from exile. This is a cast trigger. Not just like an ability that it has. Prophetic Bolt, okay. Bolt can find another Bolt. And the game could be over right here. And that's it. Burst Lightning with Kicker, that's it. Jacob wins 2-0 over Baker. In a match I thought would go the other way. But what do I know? I'm not in the top 8. We're going to quickly go back to the last match here. Looks like a green-white sort of deck versus, I know Urban was playing mono red, I've played him before. The green-white deck's up a game here. Pull up this list real quick. Looks like a token deck, a green-white tokens deck. With like Cryptothrite and wow, it's a pretty interesting deck. Huh. Baker saying the Pulsed Field is probably unbeatable. Yeah, I think your sideboard is very suspect, but like you said, you threw the deck together, so it happens. So it looks like the semifinals is going to be at least the Jeskai control deck, a black-red aggro, another mono-red deck. And we'll see here whether it be green-white tokens or the mono-red deck here. Archer really good against tokens, you know, one spell kills 2 things. Nice. Flame Javelin going upstairs. A big chunk of damage. Yeah, I think he meant that Pulse is unbeatable against his deck. Baker's deck. He has no way of dealing with it. That's how I read it, at least. Bunch of baffling ends. Everyone's confused about why those creatures are dead. A lot of lands in hand for a kill. Yeah, green-white deck. Could have been burned out here, though. Herbert can just find another burn spell here. That could be the game. Incinerate? Alright, we are on to game 3. Coming right back here. Kill a 909. Kill it here, just get in the forest. Turn to Imara, Soul of the Accord. I like this card a lot. Killa seems to have a lot of like convoke type cards, so okay. First lightning is takes care of that. But one falls, another one enters. That one dies too. They're all dead. Double burst lightning. Okay, Chandra's Phoenix coming down. Herbert's red deck, it's very streamlined. Very, very streamlined. 24 creatures, 15 burn spells, and 21 lands. Interesting sideboard, too. Baffling End's gonna take out the Chandra's Phoenix. Interesting to see he has Blood Knight in his sideboard. I wonder if he brought them in against like things like Baffling End. That'll be interesting to see if he brought. Loam Dryad. Loam Dryad's interesting. With Amara at least. Abbot of Carol Keep really makes his red decks kind of like awesome. Getting like a card drawing. It's card draw. Conroy gets cheap card draw. Crazy. Kane's going to the Loam Dryad here. It's not a bad blocker. Random little 1/1. But you know, Killa's deck's really built on blocking really well, so looks like a triplicate spirits. Yeah. Triplicate spirits really hard for a mono red deck to deal with. He's going in. I like double blocking. The single block. Oh, he's just gonna trade. Interesting. Looks to be a bit flooded. Oh, here was a Blood Knight. Blood Knight did come in after all. And the Ferocidon. Card's so good for standard. It was just too good for standard. It had to be banned. But we welcome all the banned cards here. We welcome them. Interesting plays on the triplicate spirits. Because the Blood Knight just kind of walks past those things. Loam Dryad can team up with one of the Scions to block the Blood Knights. I like that. The Loam Dryad actually has a play here. If Herbert can get help and the Megaliths can start taking out the tokens. Ooh, raise the alarm though. Froston's gonna kind of ping him out a little bit. I'm surprised these decks aren't main decking the Frostodon. Ooh, the quad block. Ooh. This is the worst fear for Aquila here. Basically, it's like, see, what I would have liked actually is if he actually incinerated the Loam Dryad, and then he can shoot the remaining token, and then he could have killed everything. So now he still has a Loam Dryad out. So then his like Froston could have stayed alive, and that that's okay, I guess. Because now he can still block the Blood Knight if he needs to. This is Triplicate Spirits, it's not really gonna help a lot. Actually gonna hurt him more. Because the Froston's he's gonna take 3 to do this. And then he can still keep attacking. So he could shoot a token with the Megalith on his upkeep, and then just attack for 5. And the blocks are like really bad. Yeah, I would have rather just incinerated the Loam Dryad than shot a token that was blocking the Ferocodon. The result would have been the same, I think. Another Blood Knight. The sideboard looking good here. Sideboard creatures. What Killa can do. He's gonna have to like kill the Ferocodon, I think is step 1. But then the Blood Knights are it's really strong here. Yeah, I like the all-out attack. Spirits can only block the Ferocodon. The Loam Dryad really can't trade with the Blood Knight. Actually, I think this is... Oh, he's at 3, yeah. Alright, Mono Red takes it. We're gonna have a lot of Mono Red in this top 4. You in a second. Alright, we heard of the semifinals. Gonna be the Jacob versus Back Alley. We watched the Jacob already in the quarterfinals. He's playing Jeskai Control. The other side, though, Back Alley's playing a red deck, but a red deck with black. A little black splash. The black is kind of for some other random cards. Spike Jester, 3-1 haste. Bloodsoak Champion, which are like a 2-1 kind of well, Tyrant's Choice, which is basically a 2-mana deal 4 damage. A couple other like little things. It's got Foreboding Runes, Lava Claw Reaches, Auntie's Hollow, which only has 8 goblins to support that, but fine. And you get a bunch of interesting sideboard cards with black. So the ranking gets supplied by the Auntie's Hollow here. But really, really just all the value. I do like ranking a lot. And this is probably the greediest ranking deck I've ever seen. The Jacob has a Radiant Flames. It's pretty good here. Yep, there it is. See how Back Alley responds. Domed. Domed. Fun fact, that Back Alley has not lost a match yet. That's something I want to mention here. He actually hasn't lost a match. Meanwhile, the Jacob has lost his first round and has won every one since. So I think it takes him a little longer to get going. I think like one pulse of the field and the game could like wildly swing into the this guy control deck's favor. Uh, okay. I didn't plan that. I didn't plan that, but it happened. It's not really a great spot for Back Alley. He has a lot of cards in his hand, but he has no threats on the board, so not really sure what he's holding. It must be just like burn spells. The Phoenix. Supposed to be. He could also hold lands, but that wouldn't make any sense. Hold lands here. We could really use this as a Lava Cloud Reaches, I think. That'd be really nice here. But the factory's online now, so maybe it's not as nice. Here it comes. It makes a little token. Little 2/2 assembly worker. It's gonna get in too. Which is a very big sign of strength. 16 life with at least a pulse of the fields in hand, a bunch of the cards. Gets in there with the 2/2. interesting. The post-combat Phoenix. He burst lightning himself, so he just cannot get the pulse back. But he's gonna rune snag the burst lightning. So he's gonna burst lightning himself again. A high level plays. He's gonna counter the burst lightning. Oh man, so funny. That's how bad of a card this is in game one. Just willing to hit himself with it. Jacob holds back because he needs to hold the pulse, and he needs to have a low enough life total. If he keeps attacking back alley, then his life total will not be lower than. That's just funny play though. Very, very funny play that can only happen here in Penny Dreadful. Again, going to burn himself to death, and it's going to hit with all the counter spells. So this is interesting. He's going for the chain lightning on himself, and now he gets an opportunity to copy it if he feels like it. But if he copies it, then the Jacob copy it back because he also plays with red. He's gonna. I guess he's going to copy it. But what is his target? Gonna be himself again? Self for 6 is very bold. He decides to take out an assembly worker. So now the Jacob can copy the chain lightning here if they so choose. And that was just funny. The Jacob can hit himself with the chain lightning. But he decides to target the Phoenix. Pretty terrible block, yeah. You can't really block the Bloodsoaked Champion because it's just going to come back. Spells. All that for 2 damage, really, or 4 damage. That's really weird. now with Jacob at a healthy 8, still has the power to just kind of pulse himself up. Pagali's going to consider himself again to give himself an even life total. Does Jacob have another counter spell? Another rune snag. This is for 6. Oh, these rune snags have been coming in the clutch. Hard cast Decree of Justice here. Pretty much seal the game. Game's gonna win game 1. Alright, so here we are with game 2. So the interesting part about back alley sideboard, we've already talked about Jeskai control. They'll probably just bring in like Radiant Flames, more Pulse, Fields, Shards, etc. But on the Rakdos deck, they have some interesting cards on the sideboard. Reign of Gore is really good. If a spell ability would cause its control to gain life, that player loses that much life instead. So that's kind of a nice counter to Pulse of the Fields. And also Slaughter Games. Slaughter Games, just a memorial side effect that can't be countered. Advances Blasting Cannons, which is interesting to see out of back alley's decks. Kind of a sort of like Abbot of Carol Keep every turn. So the sideboard games are very interesting here. Sanctimony is going to be silly. But if Sanctimony is actually really funny because back alley actually only has 7 actual mountains. Because if he's playing black red, he actually has a ton of like non-basics and swamps. So this is actually a really interesting card. And if he gets Reign of Gore out, then the 2-mana enchantment battle will be very funny. So let's see if he finds out just Reign of Gore against his Sanctimony. The card off the sideboard here. And there was a Pulse of the Fields too. The back alley just really looking for that Reign of Gore. And then the game will be a lot different. Radiant Flame's gonna just take out all the creatures. Back alley, or I'm sorry, the Jacob looks like he's in great shape. Abbott finds a Lava Claw reaches. That'll be another good red source that won't actually trigger the Sanctum. Now he finds a swamp, so you can kind of just like not use the mountains at all. And with the Abbott attack, you can get back all the Bloodsoaked champions. But we know Jacob has a pulse in his hand, so we'll go up to 19. Now, I think if Back Alley actually was a little heads up about this, he could have tapped his mountain and gained a life, and made Jacob gain a life, and then he would have lost his pulse. So he actually had the ability to kind of like make him lose the pulse there. So a little misstep by a Back Alley there. He could have actually made him gain a life. using his own sanctimony. Oh, there's a Rain of Gore, but he doesn't have the mana available to cast it. So that Rain of Gore is just gonna go away. Oh, that would have been so good here. Ooh, but a Wing Shards with 2 Storm. Exactly enough to take out these 3 creatures. Might be just a decree. Oh, treasure cruise, okay. Oh, another Abbott's coming out. And the Cackler. I would actually use the Mountain there. Because now he can't bring back the Bloodsoaked Champion. I think he really wanted to. You don't want him to gain life at the same time. He's gonna gain life. Ugh, another Radiant Flames is rough here. That's just rough. Jacob's looking prepared. Looking real prepared for all the aggro decks. Ooh, Lava Car Reach is getting in there. Getting in there. So it's gonna get back to Bloodsoaked Champion. So I like that interaction a lot. I just like creature lands. Creature lands are really good. Lava Car Reach is probably one of the best creature lands we've ever had in this format. Is that sad to hear? Is that really sad to hear? Maybe Spawning Pool is really good, but I think Lava Car Reach is slightly better than Spawning Pool. I don't know. That's a hard one, actually. I guess in a straight up fight, like Spawning Pool, like stop a Lava Cloud reaches, so it's also cheaper to activate. The resiliency is coming out for Back Alley's deck. He's got a lot of like dudes. Could raid back the Bloodsoaked Champion, the Lava Claw in the swamp. Excuse me. This is a big decree here. It'd be a very big decree. Hard cast decree for 3 at 18 life. That's a nice healthy clock here. Another tough battle for a Back Alley. How's it gonna get out of this one? Yeah, I'm not sure if even if he like got the pulse out of Jacob's hand that one turn where it would have been relevant because I think like Jacob just drew it very well between like the Sanctimony and the Radiant Flames. It was just very like academic for the Jacob to get in the spot. I'm not playing right now. Vlog. We're just watching. We're just watching the semifinals. We're signing with Kicker, one of the Angels. No, make him gain a life. You can do it. You can do it. Just make him gain a life. That was the second time. You have a mountain. Just make him gain a life. I guess he had to do that. I guess for that play, he had to burst lightning the guy, but he's gonna probably get. He swerved. It swerved. Swerved. Derby derbied. Can activate the lava claw here. Attack. Yeah, just get rid of the pulse here. I think he knows that he just raced him now. Plus, he has the factory if anything happens, so he could just kind of just chump something. The sign of strength, and the sanctum when he just like chip life damage. Incinerate. Gonna bring back the phoenixes. Yeah, Herbert's really good. Probably one of the best players in Penny Dreadful history. I mean, I beat him, but it's not a big deal, really. Not really a big deal, so. Baker, I don't know if you heard earlier, but I almost played this, like, Vidalcan Outlander Steal the Godhead deck that I had in my brain. I was so close to doing it. Like, turn 2, Vidalcan Outlander, turn 3, Steal the Godhead. How does Mono Red beat that? Doesn't. Anyway, the Jing's gonna win here. 2-0. On to the finals against another Mono Red deck. Finals of the first Penny Dreadful tournament of season 11. We've got Urberk, one of the, I would say, probably one of the top 5 all-time greatest Penny Dreadful players. At least by, like, statistics. But he really is. He's just a master. Versus the Jacob here. Urberk's on Mono Red. And the Jacob's playing Jeskai Control. We've actually been following him this entire time. And he's kind of just been crushing everyone. Meanwhile, Urberk here, who I beat round 1, is now all the way in the finals. It was just so upset that he lost to me that he decided just to kind of take the whole tournament. Or attempt to take the whole tournament. But Urberk's deck is pretty atypical mono red deck. 24 creatures, 15 burn spells, 21 lands. Not sure if there's like a consensus best build red deck. But this one's pretty solid. Cal the Megalith is good for the reach of the deck. A lot of times it gets you empty-handed, and the Megalith is good, just like kind of like pushing through the last points of damage. Condemn though on the strong Nobles, very strong. It's just gonna like really extend this game for as long as possible. The longer the game goes, the better the Jacob is. He just is in general. Another potent tool, though, is Rune Snag, though, for the blue decks. We have a mana leak. We have a mana leak. In Rune Snag. Rune Snag is just really silly. A Cackler comes out for Urberk. Responded by Anticipate. Main phase kill for consideration. That's just like, I don't care. You know what? Take your best shot. My life total's a resource. I have 17 life points. All you have is a Cackler. And that looks like it's gonna be it. The 1-for-1 on the Radiant Flames on the Cackler, the 1-for-1, that just means business. That's scary. It's kind of scary for the Urberk here. That means that like he's just willing to use this like 3-mana spell to kill a 1-mana creature. Urberk incinerate himself in response. Strong play. Not sure why he incinerated himself there. I think he's trying to get him out of like pulse range, but that doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure why he domed himself. He might have misclicked. I'm just gonna say misclick. Treasure Cruise coming down for the Jacob. Keep some Rune Stag in the graveyard. That's where they want to be. But first, I get to hear this lowly little Village Messenger. Pro Tour winning Village Messenger, by the way. A card won a Pro Tour. As in, I think Cackler also won a Pro Tour. I want to say Cackler's won a Pro Tour. Kind of funny when you think about like the random comments that won Pro Tours. What is it? Judges Familiar is a 2-time Pro Tour champion, I think. But Judges Familiar is actually really good. The Pro Tour Cackler didn't win. The first one. The first Pro Tour. The second one. And probably the third one at least. Oh, 2-2. Other than that, the most recent one, and the one before that, and probably the one before that. Another Radiant Flames though. It's gonna take care of a little bunch here. Hey, a couple burn spells though, and this could be a lot different game. Oh, dog's up. Hey, dog. You guys are called Mythic Championships, by the way. Let's just get them. Let's just get it straight. They're Mythic Championships. Yeah, a lot of Flames of the Blood King can do it here. The tap out is very interesting. So if he just goes like Burst Lightning, Flames, and then Flames him again, we could do it here. We're still at the end of Jacob's turn. Burst Lightning. He's got 2 turns to do this. Incinerate. See, this is what happened. This is what... Do you remember way back when Urberk incinerated himself? That's 3 damage there. Is Urberk... Did Urberk just throw this game? Did Urberk just throw this game? By incinerating himself that all the while ago? Everything matters, guys. Everything in Magic matters. So, top deck Flames of Bloodhand, let's go. Chain? Chain Lightning off the top? Sir? Sir? Well done. Well done. We're here for game 2. Out the board. Urber can bring in the Rampaging Ferocidons. And maybe Blood Knights too. They're pro red. And he also has Flames of the Bloodhand on the sideboard too. On the other side, you know, he's got more Sanctimony. Sanctimony's gonna be the big card here. Also the fields are gonna be really good. So it's gonna be a Ferocidon versus Sanctimony battle. Sanctimony says that whenever an opponent taps him out for mana, the owner of Sanctimony is going to gain a life. So that's going to be kind of rough. I'm not sure about Refugee. I'm not really sure, honestly. Basically, the point... I think the point of this matchup is to try to, like, mitigate the Sanctimony. I don't know, you can see a lot of his removal is red-based, but he also has, like, Wing Shards, things like that. Condemns, so... You could just have, like, a Refugee and get it condemned. Or you could have a Blood Knight and get it Radiant Flames. You know what I mean? To the face. Chain Lightning. Another one? One is good, 2 is better. Ooh, turn 3, nothing. But he's got counter spells up. Got double blue, double white. So we see a Pulse, we can see a Dissolve. Dissolve, I don't know what it'd be in this deck. I'm not sure if Dissolves are in the deck post board right now. Urberk's got nothing, though. Alright, Anticipate by the Jacob. I suspect that Urberk has got a pile for Ferocidons in his hand. Just looking for the 3rd land. And here comes the Sanctimony. Sanctimony. Incinerate. To the Jacob this time. Can Urberk find that land and get that Ferocidon out? Here's land 3. So he's got plays. He definitely should have plays at this point. I think he's wondering if he can, like, stack the triggers. And you can't. If you're playing a sorcery speed spell, you can't stack the triggers so that he would gain the life. Would I attack with Frost on the open mana? Probably not. But I suspect if he plays a Frost on, it's gonna get Radiant Flames anyway. Like, he'll just immediately Radiant Flames it. Herbert is thinking about it. He's thinking about the play here. Oh, he crashed. Apparently his MTG was crashing. So he's not really thinking, he's just kind of crashing. So, small pause here. Yeah, we're really looking for a Ferocidon here. Ferocidon being just that good. I actually haven't crashed yet today. In fact, I haven't restarted my client either today. I just turned it on and I went for 4 hours straight. So we're still waiting on Urberg to come back, but apparently his whole computer crashed. Now we're just kind of sitting here waiting. He actually has 3 minutes to come back. We're just kind of sitting and hoping that he comes back in time. I tried to pause the video to kind of just like wait for him to come back, but we might actually get a timeout loss here, so we're just gonna wait it out here together. Top 8 was pretty interesting though. Not all mono red. There were at least 3 decks mono red, which I think is about right for a season 1. 2 green white decks. I think that was interesting. 2 green white decks. I think there was like, what else was there? The Jeskai deck that's right here. I forget the other 2 combatants up top. Oh, Trevor, who was playing the Grixis deck, and Brainless, which is on the Jund Whip deck with Volcano Helion. Urberg's back. Urberg has made it back. We have to know how many mono red register. I can tell you that. Let's. I'm gonna just kick out the Blackbird deck as mono red. 3, 4, 5. There were 5 mono red or red based aggro decks that played. 3 of them made top 8. You take that as you will. Well, 6. 6 you want to count this Goblin deck. Yeah, 6. Yeah, I'm counting the Rakdos deck. Red based aggro. We'll just call it red aggro. There are 4 actual red decks. There's a Goblin deck. Oh wait, yeah. There's 4 actual red decks: the Goblin deck and the black red deck. Anyways, so the big play was actually a Chandra's Phoenix. That would have been sad if Urbrick lost, because he already won game 1. Lost on a timeout, that is. Yeah, but thinking of his choices here, had some hard choices. Speaking of drum rolls, I swear he misclicked it. I swear that was just a misclick. And somehow he just like cheesed the win out of it too. Fun fact, I've beaten double sanctimony before. Because you could stack all the triggers and cast an instant. So which I did once. Well, here comes a Ferocodon out to stop this life gaining nonsense. Yeah, I can't imagine Jacob not having removal spell here for the Ferocodon. Or not. Or not. There's no way he can attack with the Ferocodon, I don't think. I think there's no reasonable way he can attack with Ferocodon. Yeah, it's gonna take it nice and easy with the Phoenix. Yeah, it's one of the downsides of Condemn and Wing Shards that they need the creature to attack, actually. First thing with Kicker, though, we'll deal with the Ferocodon. But he can now respawn because he can't gain life off the Sanctimony with something. Some spell. I do like letting the triggers resolve instead of just like slamming the spell down. You gotta wait for the triggers to resolve so he doesn't gain the life on it. Another burst into Dome. It's a nice little play there. Gonna main phase it, maybe. Kind of ruins the element of surprise, doesn't it? Maybe anticipate here. Oh, Treasure Cruise. Treasure Cruise for all the graveyard. Another Sanctimony. Double Sanctimony. Jeez. Now we're looking for like flames in a blood hand. I'm really looking for flames. Herbert really can't play a spell. Play with the Bloodhead, only a 2 of in that Urberg's deck. We're also on a 4 of in the sideboard. Actually, they're both sideboarded cards. Ooh, here comes a Condemn. Problem with the Frost on is that he has to give him 6 life to do it. So 6 life for a potential Ferocidon. I could just get killed right here on the spot. Another kicked Burst Lightning. Bad times. Listening. He clearly is listening. Listening to the all smart people. Another 6 life here. Is Hammerheim legal? Is we gotta start playing Hammerheim in these red decks. Oh, Hammerheim is illegal. Anticipate the bad treasure cruise, basically. The poor man's treasure cruise. I think he has to get a clock down. I mean, he has to do something. You know what I mean? I think he got all his Ash Zealots. On the draw. On the draw, it makes sense to take out like a lot of your slower creatures. Yeah, but Jacob looks like to be in complete control. I think he's just gonna slam down this decree. Like he's been doing a lot. He's even gone for the cycle play. He's just like cast decree for 3. He's not even about cycling this card. And Urber's just gonna concede. Yeah, that's a good concession there. We're gonna come back with game 3. Second. Game 3 is afoot. Urber crashed again, but come back a lot quicker this time. The deciding game 3, Urber's something have to play. I don't know if he gets to like sideboard or keep his original sideboard that he had before. I'm not really sure what happens there when you crash during your sideboarding. I wish I knew, but MTGO is a interesting specimen. Turn 2 Sanctimony. Gross. Even the whiteboarded version. Whiteboarded version. Ugh. Just gonna let it through. Urberk's like, you know what? Forget it. I don't need to deal with this. It's a tough. It's gonna be a tough uphill battle here. Not only does Urberk have to deal with the Sanctimony, he also has 5 minutes left on his clock. With all the crashings and whatnot. So. Ooh, Chandra's Phoenix, though. It's coming down. Like, he only gained 1 life. Of note, there is no double white source, or second white source for the Jacob, so we can't really cast a Pulse. So Condemn will deal with the... Anticipate follow-up at the end step of Urberk. Oh, here comes the white source here, the Boral's Guildgate. 5 lands, though. That's a lot of lands. A lot of life gain for the Jacob here. This does not look very good. No threats on the board for Urberk. Jacob at a healthy 21. And it just like goes for the treasure cruise. Main phase consideration. Doesn't care. Does not care. Why would you really? I mean, like, this card's a Radiant Flames, too. Jeez. Urberk land number 6, and no threat to be seen. Perhaps he's just playing coy with us. Just playing it slow until he can play double Ferocodon and just, like, he can deal with everything. But Jacob's gonna put the screws to him. He's gonna play 2 Angels here with the Decree. And 7 for Urberk. Flames in a Blood Hand, nice. Stacks all the triggers, so at least get something. Hey, Redmonger, what's up? Here for the conclusion of the tournament. Chains a token. I burst it down. And, yep. And chain another token. And he's gonna burst it down. Oh, man. That's that's quite the resource there. Just 5 burn spells, just all wasted in 1 turn. And then Jacob just says go. Wow. Another sanctimony just to say, hey, you know what? I'm fine with waiting. I've waited long enough. Look at me in my throne. My throne of life. Now there is the factor that the Jacob could deck himself. There is that. You could consider a lot, treasure cruise a lot. I was like, oh, I'm out of cards. I forgot. I forgot to win the game. Who knows? Maybe. Forgot to win the game. This card's double wing shards. I'm not playing. This is the finals of the tournament. But I played Dragonstorm in the tournament. I went 2-2. I would have cycled the decree. How many decrees is Jacob running? I think 2. I believe 2. Yeah, he runs 2. You could also be looking for the 2 of Urza's Factory. That would help. That would really help actually kill his opponent. If you found Urza's Factory. Discarded the Burst Lightning. That's interesting. Burst Lightning can actually start killing his opponent. Urberg really content of just saying go. Probably just literally just F6. Another pass from Urberg. I think he's just waiting to see a kill condition. $19 cards left. 19 cards left. Just saying. To note that the Jacob's not playing any sort of Elixir of Immortality effect. Or just Elixir in general. So that I just want to mention that. Alright, Urberg makes his move. I have Ferocidon. Oh, Abbot of Carol Keep, okay. See what's on top. The mountain. Yes. Here we go. We have a threat, ladies and gentlemen. We have a creature on the board. The Jacob at 30 life now. Really nothing to do. The Jacob kicked the Burst Lightning to kill the Abbot. Interesting. Another 4 life gain for the Jacob, so he can cast Abbot of Carol Keep. It's a Flame Javelin. Not really the trade-off you want. 6 life. It just basically says Flame Javelin basically says gain 2 life. But Jacob is pretty content on just like letting his opponent block himself, especially with all the Sanctimony triggers, because you can't really like yield the triggers if you're gonna try to do something like Flame to the Blood Hand. So you can't like yield these triggers. They gotta say yes like every time. Right. Here comes the Ferocidon. Board game 1, I guess. Needs a Dissolve. I'm actually surprised Dissolve sold the deck. Oh, there's an Urza Factory. It kind of stuck in there. I didn't see it. So now the Jacob just has a clock. We have threats. We have kill conditions. And we find the win. 41 life for Jacob. Show his strength, he attacks for 2. or we're not one to give up. Continues this sort of futile attempt to win this game. But hey, he only has to outlast in 15 turns, right? Right? 15 cards left in the deck. Does he try to trade? I doesn't care. So he incinerates one of the tokens here. Maybe he has another removal spell for the other token? Alright, alright. Kind of sad though, we're only 30 seconds left. One of those weird situations. Even like, I think even if Urwerk had 30 minutes on his clock, I don't think he could have beaten them. I don't think there's any way he could have actually won that game. It would have been like, it would have had to be like a crazy sequence. Like a lot of crazy sequences all at once. Basically, the Jacob has to mess up. But this is not the situation where the Jacob's going to lose this match. In like any scenario. But there's no way to know. You're right. There's no way to know. You know what? Here we go. I got it. I got you, man. No, you have 888 now. Go, 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 go. Go, you have 5,000 minutes. Go, 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 go. Aw. No, wait. Help him out, guys. 10,000 minutes. Go, 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 go. Aw. Jacob wins. He's gonna win it out. 2-1. Weirdly exciting, weirdly not exciting all at once. Mono Red is not the king for today, but Urwerk made a good showing. After losing round 1, he just kind of tore everyone else up. Same with the Jacob though. I think he also lost round 1 and just like went undefeated after that. So good showing to the Jacob. Showing triple sanctimony, apparently good against Mono Red. Tell your friends.